welcome to Unity in the Seven Hills. If you're in person, we ask that your phones be turned off or put on silent and your I ams turned on. Please rise. We're going to sing 3 songs right in a row to get some energy in the church this morning. Good morning, Unity. Welcome to Harmony. Come through those open doors.
And now let us pray. O Spirit of the living God, we are here today to celebrate life that is guided divinely when we ask for it to be and we allow it to be. And so now in this moment we are asking for your divine guidance here in our service today, and we are open to the words that Ari is bringing us this morning. We are open to what it is you would have in the life of our church. We are open to hearing and knowing, and we welcome each and every one. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. Let us affirm our mission statement together. Unity in the Seven Hills is a vibrant, inclusive community that inspires individual spiritual growth through education, prayer, heart connection, and sacred service. And our vision statement. Centered in spirit, we see a world transformed by divine love, where innovative solutions are celebrated and all needs are met. And our unity principle of the week. It's the first one. God is all there is and is present everywhere. There is the force of love and wisdom that underlies all of existence. Let's say that together. God is all there is and is present everywhere. There is a force of love and wisdom that underlies all of existence. And here is our daily word. Today's daily word is gratitude. Gratitude is my natural state of mind. What joy it is to feel gratitude rising from my heart and filling my mind. Feeling grateful makes me aware of all encompassing presence of God, including the divine within me. When I live from my spiritual nature, gratitude becomes the song of my heart. I don't need to wait for a reason to feel grateful. When I live with an attitude of gratitude, I find the good in every situation, the blessing that can come from any adversity, and the presence of God in every aspect of my life. Practicing gratitude opens my eyes to the blessings that are present and opens my heart to receive even more. I give thanks for an unlimited world, blissful peace, and perfect wholeness. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. Psalms 95:2. And then let us bless our youth together. You are a perfect child of God, and God and I love you just the way you are and wherever you are.
Our special praise, we have a special poem from our speaker, Ari Yahm.
Good morning. So you can ignore that name because I'm ridiculous. And this poem started a completely different way from where it ended up because late last night I decided I was going to attempt to fit it into the most complicated form of poetry that there is. For those of you who are curious, it's a sestina. They're torturous, but I like being in uncomfortable places. So here we go. It's unnamed as yet, so that will be used for a different poem. This superficial composition of reality upends in the rotation of time as poorly knitted. Simultaneousness is a fashion of exposure, pulling off the quilt of truth to present our perspectives. Yes, single gaze changes on rearranged stages, gathered in parted decades, ages, and through phases removed. Rage will not get us on the same page, best it's removed. It distracts readers until plot has lost reality. If interpretation confuses those eyes there gathered, wait an act or chapter before judging what is knitted. And just maybe the knotted plot will marry perspectives. The author is not here for exegesis exposure. What good would it do to live in origin exposure? We are born into lives of experiences removed for the alluring sake of building perspectives, offering a piece, a word for collective reality, a single gleaming string not to be tied, to be knitted. Stories, songs and singers, skin and bone rhythms, beings gathered, collected, combined, woven, mixed, united, and gathered, building a wall of us all against lonely exposure, wearing scars as adornments of the web we have knitted, the scars held glorious from the vital struggle removed. Screaming to the shadows we burdened as reality that the sun now carries the wealth of our pulsing perspectives. True reality sings from the notes of our perspectives, one noble melody by our community gathered, honest perspectives exposing gathered reality, the witnesses within the Emirian exposure from the witnessed heavenly wonder no longer removed, but open eye and object now so divinely knitted. Will you bring your string to add to that already knitted? Will you spin the strands of your preferred perspectives, though evolution begs you let nothing be removed? Will you brave enough for all your being to be gathered, not cowering from such righteously human exposure? Will you allow me to be part of our reality? Love lifts all, no one removed. All notes to the song are knitted. Let go of reality, learn to amass perspectives. To the listeners gathered, here, I swear, my exposure.
Ari Yahm. Our speaker today is Ari Yahm. They use they, them pronouns. Often people retort, but that's a plural pronoun. You can't use that singular. But fear not, Ari is actually a colony of fungi clinging together to mimic a person. So the plural is completely relevant. Ari is running out of funny ways to introduce themselves. So I will now tell you 5 interesting things about myself instead. Let's see, I have 5 names: Erica, Lee, my confirmation name Teresa, my maiden name Schickel, and my current last name Pitzer. I'm the youngest of 5 children. I am closer in age to my 2 eldest nieces than to my 3 eldest siblings. I just started a new job this week, and I just took my son to his apartment at college yesterday. That was amazing. I'm amazing, and so totally worthy of love that there's no way I can fathom how much love I am about to receive from Ari. So while I try to fathom it, here's Ari Yahm with our message today.
So as usual, we'll start by celebrating people. So let's celebrate Erica for putting up with my intros that I write. I also want to celebrate the people who have volunteered to come out to join me at Pride. So far, that is Lisa, Leanne, and Robin. So let's hear it for them. And real quick, just to let you know, I could use 2 more people. So anyone interested, there's 1 more, there's 2 more. We're full, we're good, we're set. All right, let's clap for that. And last but certainly not least, this is a holy place, but we mean that in the divine way, not like holes. So here's a big thank you to Bob Wade for filling in the sinkhole that formed in our driveway so that we can be the right kind of holy. All right. So I want to start today by talking about a YouTube video I was watching. I like doing this a lot because, well, 2 reasons. In the modern world, I like to present more sources for inspiration than just books, because there's a lot out there. And I think that the internet gets a bad name. We all focus on how much negativity there is in social media, but there's a lot of good out there. So the YouTube channel I want to bring up today is called Religion for Breakfast. And it's really easy to understand, even though they go into some deep issues. The specific video that I'm going to be giving you information from to start off with is called The Camel and Needle. Some of you may know where that's going. So he talks about Mark 10:25, which says, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God." Now, since that was written, there have been a lot of interpretive things done to it to try and make it a little lighter. One of the things that people have thought of is maybe instead of camel, it was supposed to say cable, like a rope on a boat. And the thinking behind that is that the Greek word for camel is kamelos, and the Greek word for cable is kamelos, spelled 1 letter differently. And this idea came from Cyril of Alexandria in the 5th century. So we're talking 500 years after Jesus. So it's quite some time before this gets presented. And some of the thinking around that also goes back to some thinking on the Aramaic, that maybe it was an interpretation problem. Is said that the Aramaic for camel, which is gamla, maybe sounded like the Aramaic for cable. The problem is the earliest manuscripts we have, even in the Greek, say camel. They do not say cable. Then, let's see, the next one is that, let's see, where am I at? Okay, yeah, so many of you probably heard this one, because this is one I heard a lot, is that the eye of the needle referred to a small pedestrian gate. There was actually a doorway, and that a camel had to relieve itself of its burdens in order to fit through. There's no ancient sources, biblical or otherwise, to support this. None. The first time we hear of this comes from the 11th century, from Anselm of Canterbury, which was a medieval Bible commentary. And it was made famous actually from a quote from Shakespeare, which was a little bit later on. There's nothing from that time period to support that the eye of a needle was a doorway. So the interesting thing is that there's another source, the Babylonian Talmud, that uses a different phrase. It says it's easier for an elephant to pass through the eye of a needle than yada, yada, yada. So the thought is, because we have another source using common phrase, is that this was just a common thing said back then to mean something impossible. So Jesus was literally saying, it is easier to do something impossible than for a rich man to enter heaven. But they tried to soften it over time, and that, falls on us pretty easily today because we are inundated with, prophets and all these things in our modern world. This is what kind of makes us run. So we really want to make it a little more applicable to the world as we see it now. So the problem is interpretation. Over time, interpretations become as true as the source. The biblical times, they're old. But the 11th century is also old. So to us, there's not a whole lot of give and take there. We can't really fathom the difference between way back in the 11th century, way back in biblical times. And there is a bias automatically built in our minds if it's old, it's highly respectable. This can be seen in when we talk in politics and we talk about, well, what would the founding fathers want? But how many times is that applicable? Because they existed before many wars, including world wars. They existed before huge scientific discoveries and social upheavals, and there's been a lot of changes. Then we can talk, let's get a little bit more into something that's applicable to me as a non-binary person. Body hair. We have certain beauty standards today, but in pre-colonized Islamic countries, what was seen as beautiful, in our culture, what we see as beautiful tends to be female things, feminine things. But in pre-colonized Islam, it was masculine things that were found beautiful. And so a woman with body hair was extremely gorgeous. That seems really bizarre to us. Up until the 30s, pink was a boy's color. There's actually an ad, a clothing ad, that says that girls shouldn't wear pink because pink is too passionate of a color and girls are too demure to wear pink. How things have changed. We can even have falsehoods that we create in our own lifetime. For this, I am always reminded of a story that the neuropsychologist Oliver Sacks speaks of. I don't know how many of you know Oliver Sacks, one of the most brilliant people to have ever lived. He talks about how he had this memory of the Blitz in London, of bombs falling and the destruction that happened. But as he grew up and was talking about this, his brother was like, I don't know how you know those things. You weren't there. And doing some investigation, it ended up that his father had sent home letters with pictures. And he had read these letters and looked at these pictures so much that he internalized the memory and didn't have any idea that he hadn't been there. He had created this false memory of the event. So knowing all these things, knowing how much cultural sway there is to our minds, and how easy it is for us to trick ourselves, can we understand the inner thoughts of others with this vast array of influences? These influences can come as close as the last breath, and so far away as time's forgotten. So there's a lot that can impact how we think, how we respond, how we're able to understand how others react and respond. This makes it really hard to effectively live together. Luckily, I don't have to figure out steps for how to do this. Someone else has already done it, and I think we should go through them again, even though I have a feeling most of you, if not all of you, have probably read this book. It's The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I see a lot of nodding, yeah. So, number 1, be impeccable with your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. That's a big one. Number 3, don't make assumptions. I have some caveats on that one we'll get to. And number 4, always do your best. So number 1, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using your word to speak against yourself or others. Use the power of your word in direction of truth and love. And I think the really important thing there, it's all really important, but I think what we often forget is the avoid using your word to speak against yourself. How many bad things do we convince ourselves of ourselves all the time? I hear it all the time, people saying that they can't do something. Well, of course you can't if you're telling yourself that, but give it a try. So number 2, don't take anything personally. This is one that I see needs the most work in people out there. And it's, you know, we only have the movie inside our heads to understand this world. We are the main character of that movie. So we project that we are the main character of that movie upon everyone else's actions, forgetting that everyone else is also projecting that they are the main character of their own movie and that you don't matter as much as you think you do to them. So one of the things they point out, like I said, what others say or do is a projection of their own reality. And we don't know what they've been through that day, their entire life, what they learned from their parents, what their friend group is doing, what they've been pressured into. We don't think about the cultural things that they have grown up with, historical prejudices they carry, familial issues they've gone through and that have been built upon from generation to generation. So it's easy for us to think they are coming straight for us. Again, because we are the main character. But are they really? Don't make assumptions. This one I have, well, not really some problems with, but I think it deserves greater elocution. Because we are creatures built on assumptions. If I'm leading meditation and I want to use this bell, I'm not going to start testing it before we get to meditation just to make sure that it works. I can assume I strike the bell, it's going to ring. And I think there's a lot of things in life that we make assumptions with, and we need to in order to operate. But what we need to remember is that we are creatures of assumptions and of patterns, and to keep that on our mind when dealing with other people. And so to get over that, the most important thing that is also suggested by Don is to ask questions. Ask as many questions as you can. Stay curious. Learn, learn, learn. Do more, ask more, learn more. And the last is always do your best. And for this, I want to talk about something called spoon theory. Is there anyone who's heard of spoon theory? A couple people. So spoon theory is that there is a certain amount of energy that it takes to do every task, and we measure that in these imaginary spoons. And depending on your physical situation, your mental situation, your life, what have you, you may start off with more spoons than other people. Depending on what's going on that day, you may start off that day with more spoons than you did the last day, or less spoons than you did the last day. So your best may change. You may wake up one morning and only have 1 spoon of energy, but you plan on doing a 10-spoon thing. Well, if you start trying to do a 10-spoon thing when you only got 1 spoon of energy, how's that going to work out for you? That's when you're going to start using your words to speak against yourself. I know I can do this. I don't understand why I can't accomplish it. It's, oh man, why can't I do anything right? Well, you're trying to fit 1 spoon of energy to 10-spoon economics. It doesn't work. So be honest with yourself when you wake up in the morning. What can you do? What do you have the energy for that day? If all you have the energy for is to get out of bed, congratulations. You did what you can do. Be proud of yourself. Don't shame yourself. Don't speak bad about yourself. Which is the next thing he suggests. Avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret. Regret's a big one too. Because remember, the past doesn't actually exist. There's no reason to regret what you've done in the past. Be better. Remember what you did. Build upon it. Learn from it. But regret, that doesn't get us anywhere except beating ourselves up some more. And that's going to reduce your spoons. And 1 spoon turns into no spoons. And before you know it, you've been watching NCIS for 8 hours while staying in bed. And you got nothing done. So to finish, I think what is a good thing for us to do is to stop trying to look at everything from our limited human perspective and look from a God's eye perspective. God sits far out there. And actually, I can't say this right. I have to go to the divine Miss M, that holy goddess of the LGBTQ community, Bette Midler. From a distance, there is harmony. With a wide enough view, it all works out. With a long enough view, it all works out. It all has its place. From a distance, there is harmony. So now if Erica will join me, we'll sing a song and go into meditation. I have to get the music first, though. of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. A field of love, a field of forgiveness, a peace that passes understanding. Out beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's a field. I'll meet you there. There's a field. There's a field. I'll meet you there. Let's start by taking 3 slow, deep breaths down to the base of the spine and all the way out. Let's drop to our hearts and find the light of love within us. Hold the focus softly there. And as your inner sight lingers there, feel that love start to grow. This love is not just for others, but for ourselves too. It's forgiveness and acceptance. The wisdom to know what we can do. And when it's time to find leisure. And to expand those concepts out to all those around us. To be a vessel for peace to the world. For even when there's no peace in the world, we have an opportunity to be the peace in the world. We can do that. We can be the peace. We can be the understanding. We can be the love. So now as we go into the silence, I want you to keep your focus softly on that love within you. Watch it grow, expanding out beyond you and into the world as far as you can. is like a gravity that pulls us all together. And it's a force that is inescapable. Time marches us ever forward to oneness. The wide view always has harmony. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Remembering, as the song we're about to sing says, the love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God.
God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God, and the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
Thank you, Ari. Now let us affirm our abundance together. Unity in the 7 Hills is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. And with that abundance, it is time to share our blessings. There are 4 ways to give: PayPal, Zelle, check, or cash. As our greeter directs your row to go, place any gifts in the basket up front and then join the circle around the sanctuary. If all you have to give today is love, please bless our basket. Now, let's sing something wonderful.
Hope you don't mind. I'm going to join you for this one. Here we go. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside,
Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and it won't let go, no it won't let go. All this love inside, we can let it shine, yes we can, something wonderful.
Now, please join us in the blessing of the gifts. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. United in mind, body, and spirit, I dedicate these gifts as they grow to bless our community, our neighborhood, and our world. Some announcements. Thank you for joining us today. A calendar of events is available at unityinthesevenhills.org. Here are some important and upcoming items. Our Dream Draw raffle continues. We've made $312 of our $1,500 goal. 20%, y'all. This is not only benefits our financial health, but yours too. Win a Kroger gift card worth the $200 grand prize, $100 second prize, or $50 third prize. Tickets are only $2 each, or 3 for $5. The drawing will be September 18th. We need our friends and Unity family to spread the abundance. See who? Bonnie? Vienna. About picking up an envelope of tickets to sell or to buy a ticket today. Unity's Day of Prayer is nearly here. Our Day of Prayer service will be September 4th, and our official event is Thursday, September 8th. That Thursday, we will be holding a parade of prayer. Stay tuned for details, which will immediately lead to our Thursday meditation. In preparation, special prayer request forms have been made and are available on the back table. Make sure to get yours filled out and brought back by the September 4th service so that the chaplains can pray over them. Our class on prayer will start soon. If you'd like to join, see Lisa to sign up, and you'll be contacted by email to determine a time to meet and receive a link to the videos we'll be using. Our tech team has been doing their thing and setting up an amazing new system for sound and broadcast. Now we need a few good people to help out. If you'd like to help run sound or video, training will begin soon. Reverend Ron Carstetter will be leading a spiritual gifts workshop tonight at 7 p.m. and continuing on the 28th. The workshop consists of connection space, a personal inventory of spiritual gifts, and discovery of who you have come here to be and what you have come here to do. Join us for this fast-paced, fun-filled virtual workshop where you will meet others in your community and connect with the divine within you. If interested, let us know after service so we can send you the special gifts inventory to fill out before class starts. The class is free, but we are happily accepting love offerings. Your prayer chaplain today is Sally, yes, who will be around to hold space with you. A big thank you to our guest speaker, Ari. And now we're about to close with the peace song, but before we do, if you're watching at home, like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell icon to know when we are going live again.
Yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Yes, we walk with each other perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step step I take. Yes, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.